Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Melleny. If you'd like to get to know me a little better, all my social media links are always linked down below in the description bar. And as always, my Instagram is always super active because I post on my stories like every single day because quarantine, man, self-isolation, lockdown, I have nothing better to do basically other than to talk about books on my Instagram stories. But today, in the same vein, we're going to be talking about all the books that I plan on reading in March. But before we get into those books, let's just quickly show you what I was supposed to read in April for Spin the Wheel. These are all of the books that I had to read in April. I am happy to say that I pretty much read all of them. There's only one book that I haven't read, and that is the following one. The book that I've yet to read is The Fountains of Silence by Rita Sepetys. I still have like 5 days left of the month, and I do plan on reading this in the last couple of days. I do think I'll be able to finish this before May starts, so stay tuned for my April wrap to see if I've read this one and what other books I have read beyond these that were selected. Last month we ended up on favorite author. That's the last prompt that came up, and because of that we're going to change it out for a new one. The prompt that will be replacing favorite author is the following. It is a 5-star prediction. For this I actually have a video already, which I'll have linked up in the info cards and down below in the description box. Check out if you're wanting to see what I think will be 5 stars. Just a quick reminder for all of the rules. So this is not an original idea. I'll leave Cody's video down below because she is actually the creator of this TBR game, so be sure to check out her video. I've linked her channel and the playlist for Wheel of TBR for you to check out. They're really great to binge watch, honestly, especially now in this time. It's definitely loads of fun. And then as always, I'm doing 8 spins. I always do read more than that, but 8 spins is just the base because I do like to add on other books which are based on my mood and things that I have to read. Talking about things I have to read this month, there is one book that I have to read this month which I'm hoping to squeeze into this TBR. I actually lied, there are 2 books that I really have to read this month, and they are the following. The first one is Crescent City, or House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. This is the first book in the Crescent City series, and this is Sarah J. Maas's first attempt at adult fantasy. I'm so excited. There have been so many incredible reviews around this book, and I actually have to read this for the topping TBR book of the month, which I'll have also linked down below for you to check out. We haven't exactly announced at the time of this video, but we will be announcing it pretty soon. The other book that I have to read this month is Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shawn, and I am actually taking part in the Priory of the Orange Tree read-along, which I'll have linked down below for you as well. It's kind of a read-along that takes place all the way from now in May until August, where we basically read about 50 pages a week. We already divided everything up, and I'm excited to actually get into this with a plan because I had no idea how to approach this book, and I think that's manageable. I do tend to read a bit more than 50 pages in a week, obviously, but I like the idea that there's going to be a plan. There are also 2 other things that I need to talk about, and they are the 2 readathons that I plan on taking part in. The first one is the Medieval-a-thon, which I'll have the announcement video linked down below. It's a pretty easy readathon by the prompts and everything, which is quite vague. There's not a lot of specifics to it, and I think that as long as I can fit in some books from my TBR by fate's chosen, if you will. And the second readathon that I plan on taking part in is the Believathon, which takes place from the 11th of May to the 24th of May, 2 weeks out of May, which will be dedicated towards that. However, for that I don't actually know what I'm going to be reading. I will probably have a base book, a start of a book. It's like a choose your own adventure kind of thing, and for that I kind of want to really be immersed in the storytelling of it, because Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin did an incredible job of actually planning this out. I'll also have his announcement video linked down below for you. I'll discuss each prompt as they come along. I've already replaced purple, so let's go ahead and spin the wheel. The prompt that came up is romance/chick lit. This isn't smut, but I do have a book in mind that I've been wanting to reread because I've been meaning to read the series for a while now, and I think that this might be ideal. Technically, I could actually use Crescent City for this because there is a romance, but it's not prominent enough for it in my opinion, so let me just go ahead and grab that book. The book that I want to pick up for romance/chick lit is Dark Lover by J.R. Ward. Technically, this does lean more towards smut as a genre, but I've been wanting to reread it. I've only read this, and I have the entire series just sitting on my shelf wanting to be read. You know what? At the end of the day, it could work. You know, it's something, so I hope to read it. It isn't a lengthy book, and I think I even flew through this because who doesn't like smut, you know? Let's go ahead and take off romance/chick lit and replace it with something new. So the prompt that will be replacing romance/chick lit is a new author, which basically means a new to me author or a debut author. It could be either or. Okay, let's go ahead and spin the wheel. Regrets now because the prompt that just showed up is smut. Can I change my mind? The book that I'm choosing for smut is actually another really popular author because of her like fantasy smut, and that is Christine Feenan's Leopard's Run. I actually received this a while back. It is about shapeshifters. Why not just make it all smutty? Because it's May, you know, why not? Obviously, now that I've chosen the book, I'm gonna go ahead and replace smut with something new. So the prompt that we'll be replacing smut is most anticipated. So there's like tons of options for this. I am anticipating pretty much half of my bookshelves at the moment because all I can do is stare at them. Let's go ahead and spin the wheel. For this, I'm actually going to choose a couple of books and I am going to post those options onto Instagram and have Instagram choose which one I should read. I'm going to choose the following books to actually go on. I'm going to choose 4 books because I think that's how this thingy is laid out. And let me show you what I'm choosing. So the following 4 books are the books that I plan on posting onto Instagram for everyone to pick, and that is these ones. So we have The Pride of the Orange Tree and House of Earth and Blood, The Queen and the Tearling, and as to throw a little bit of a curveball, Fangirl. Are books that I'm currently borrowing from people and would like to return these to their rightful owners as soon as quarantine is done because I've had nothing but time to read. I will also put the winner over here for you to check out so that you can see which one actually won. Now that we have those, I'm going to take off Instagram pick and choose a new one. Prompt replacing Instagram pick is one word title. This basically means I need to find a book on my shelf with only one word in the title. So for example, Fangirl, Nevernight, Wondersmith, etc. So it has to be one word in the title. We're on our 5th spin, but just a quick recap. Only pink, green, and light green have shown up once. There are no doubles. As just a reminder, if a color shows up 3 times, I do have to get an extra spin just because the likelihood of that is quite rare. So should that happen, it's going to be another book on the pile. Let's go ahead and spin the wheel. The prompt that was miraculously spun back with, because I'm pretty sure this wheel isn't entirely balanced, is big book. So this is basically a book over 500 pages long, and for this I'm actually going to give myself a little bit of an out, sort of. For the big book prompt, I'm actually going to have cheat here, kind of say that if House of Earth and Blood does not get chosen in the Instagram poll, I will then pick this. However, should it win the poll, I will then pick up Renegades by Marissa Meyer. This is a superhero kind of retelling, and I really like this because it's about keeping heroes in check and everything. I have read this before, however, I want to kind of reread the series so I can continue with it. Okay, let's go ahead and replace Big Book. The prompt replacing Big Book is TBR Veteran. So basically what this means, that should this prompt come up, it means that I have to go to my TBR Veteran video. I'll pop that up in the info cards. Should that be the case, should this come up, I will go to that video and choose a book from there. We are on our 4th spin, so we're kind of halfway here, but let's go ahead and spin the wheel. Okay, so the prompt that came up is 5-star prediction. I do have a video up for this in my info card, so please sure to check that out to see what books I have on there to predict that I will really love. So I'm just gonna go ahead and have a look at that to see what book I would ideally like to read from there. So I do have my 5-star prediction video up, so I'm gonna quickly pull it up on my laptop so I know exactly which one I'm gonna pick. Because my TBR is just seeming like it's looming with all these huge books that I don't know if I'll actually end up getting to, I'm picking Throne of Swans by Catherine and Elizabeth Kaur. They are an author duo which I have read previously, although I wasn't the biggest fan of their Witch's Kiss, that stuff, but I have heard incredible things about this, and so I want to pick it because it sounds really fun. It also has some shape-shifting elements to it, and why not pick it up, you know? Let's go ahead and replace 5-star predictions with another prompt. So the prompt replacing 5-star prediction is low expectations. Basically, it's just like things that I don't really think I'm going to be in love with, but still carry on my shelves. We are now on the 6th spin. Let's just go ahead and spin the wheel. So we're back on pink again. So this is the 2nd time that it's come up. Should it come up again, I will have to do another spin for it, but the prompt is new author, which is either a debut author or a new to me author. The book that I'm choosing for new author is A River of Royal Blood by Amanda Joy. This is my Fairy Loot exclusive edition that I got, I think November, I think. It's one of the months, and I've been meaning to read for a while now, and now just seems like the perfect opportunity. Why not, right? Let's go ahead and replace new author with a different prompt. The prompt replacing new author is Mama Pick. So should pink show up, which hopefully it doesn't because then I have to do an extra spin, is Mama Pick. So Mama Pick basically means that my mom will then come and have a look at my shelves and pick a book from here. So let's go ahead and spin the wheel. We are on our 7th spin. is the second time that light green has come up, and that the prompt that it's spun onto is most anticipated, and for this it's basically just a book that I'm really anticipating reading. It doesn't have to be a new book, it can just be a book that I really want to get to. For my most anticipated read, I'm choosing Lady Smoke by Lara Sebastian. I recently read Ash Princess as part of April's TBR, and I really loved rereading Ash Princess, so I'm really anticipating getting to the sequel, especially since I have the third book on my shelf. We are now on the last spin. Let's just go ahead and replace most anticipated with a new prompt. The prompt replacing most anticipated is book box pick. So for this, it basically means that I need to go and have a look at all the books that I've gotten in book boxes previously. Obviously, if I get my Fairy Loot and this shows up, I'm going to choose that Fairy Loot book. Let's go ahead and spin the wheel one last time. So this was a super close call, and the prompt is highest rated. I have a shelf on my Goodreads for my TBR books. I haven't really completed putting all my TBR books on there at this point. At the moment there are 250 something, so I feel like that's a big enough pool to really do this with. And basically, I'm gonna go into Goodreads, I'm gonna choose the option for rating and then do descending. If it is in a situation where the book that is the highest rated is like the third in the series and I haven't read the first or the second book, I will have to read the first book or the one before that. However, if it's like a 10-book series like the J.R. Ward series or so on, then I will actually just go to the next highest rated. Okay, let's get to it. The book that is highest rated according to this is Lawfare, Judging Politics in South Africa by Michelle LaRue and Dennis Davis. So this is kind of a look at our politics, our political system, and kind of how we work as a democratic country. I was really intrigued by this, mainly because I don't think our political system is always the best. Because this is literally been rated 5 stars on Goodreads, it is the highest, and you know what? There's no time like now to read about politics. Am I right? These are all the books that I plan on reading in May, obviously excluding the top 4, which I'll be putting on an Instagram poll for you to see which one wins. Overall, I'm kind of scared. I'm not gonna lie, there are so many books on here that I'm a bit wary of, but you know, at the end of the day, it's reading all the things, and I usually end up reading more anyways, so hopefully these turned out to be really great reads. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.